Hello again, it's Noob, and this video is a long time making, a number of years actually, because that's when my good friend Leon from Leon's Lockpad sent me this Master Lock 19. And this thing is an absolute beast. It's very, very heavy. And it looks like any other sort of laminated Master Lock until you look at it just a little bit closer. Some people consider this to be the best lock that Master Lock have ever made, and sadly I don't think this is in production anymore, but it is a really good lock. The shackle on this is really big at 13.43 millimeters or 0.53 inches, so a real beast. And just compare the size to the much more common Master Lock 3 there. This thing is huge. You see here that it's a Master Lock 19, Master Lock Co, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I think. But yeah, also if you look down here, you'll see that this is not shimmable, double locking, square cutouts both sides. As you turn the key, which is retaining, you'll see that mechanism slide in and out. You'll also notice how, unlike this Master Lock here, you can't just easily pick up through the warding and pick to full height. This is much more paracentric. It doesn't look like it, but it really is. This keyway is very hard to navigate. This pick is 18 thousandths of an inch, a slender profile, and it can't easily pick up through that warding, not unless you get it at a really tight angle. Then there's some stuff going on inside here with the pins, which make this, again, a very hard lock to pick. How can we see inside? Well, this is where another awesome lock picker comes in. This lock was kindly sent to me as a gift by Jason, who is a long-time friend of the channel, just like Leon, and he knew that I was struggling with the Master Lock 19. I've never picked this particular Master Lock 19, and he sent me one of these, and it is just an absolute thing of beauty. So thank you so much, Jason, for that. Again, you can see that it's got all the same stamping on there, but this laminated steel's been cut away so you can see the inside of this lock. If I put the key in, you'll see that you've got in there these pins, which are really interesting because these are little barrel pins, or T-pins if you like. They have a thick section here, and then at the bottom it's a little bit, that means that once you pick the thicker outer section of these pins, the little T-pins hang up in the keyway. And just look at the bitting that you can get here as well. You know, this is again really extreme for a Master Lock. Look at the difference in height between this cut here, for example. This will be cut 3 on the key and 6. It's a huge difference in height here. One thing, however, which has made me very wary when picking these Master Lock 19s. That spring here in pin position 3 is actually below the shear line. So that means the top of the driver pin in pin position 3 is actually below the shear line, which means if I picked pin 6, 5, 4, 2 and 1 and turn the lock to open it, it might open, but this spring here would be chewed up, it would be sheared as the core turned. You can wreck the lock, permanently damage the lock, and that would be such a shame for something which is no longer made and not available and relatively tricky to get hold of in good condition. Just to summarize why it's difficult, you've got a paracentric keyway which is very thin, meaning we're going to need something which is probably 20 thousandths, 15 thousandths, something like that, to get up into the keyway. You've got really good bitting, you've got 6 pins, you've got strong springs, these are big thick springs, plus the driver pins are T-pins, so even when you pick them, they might not open straight away until you've picked the little T-pins as well. So combined with a strong core spring as well, it just is a surprisingly tricky lock to pick. Anyway, what I'm going to do is throw this in a vise, stick something over here so we can't see in, and we'll have a go picking it. Okay, we're in the vise and I've got my duct tape coating the lock so we can't see inside the cutaway. I've got a nice turning tool here, which will go bottom of the keyway. Just pop that in, make sure I go over the screws at the bottom, like that. And then I've got my pick, which is a 20,000th monkey paw. And we're just going to go into the back, find our way under pin 6, and there's nothing there. So pin 5's binding, hear that click. Pin 4's binding, little click, you hear that? Pin 3's binding, little click. Nothing on 2, pin 1 is binding a little bit, little click on that too. Okay, so then we just rinse and repeat, go to the back. Nothing on 6, little click on 5, nothing on 4. 3 feels okay, nothing on 2, pin 1, binding, and we actually got a tiny core movement, like tenth of a millimeter maybe. So trying to get under pin 6, nothing on 5, 4, little click out of that. 3 feels fine, 2 good, 1 feels set. Now this is the most frustrating part, because these T-pins will keep dropping back down into the keyway, so you almost need to just keep tapping the tops of these pins all the way through until you finally get an open. And yeah, it's just be a little bit frustrating. 6, 5, 4, 3, nothing on 2, 1. I could even swap over to like a gem style pick. Oh, it says nudging the camera. Sorry about that. Let's see what we can feel under here. All I'm doing with this is I'm just going in and sort of tapping the tops of the pins as I go through the lock. And all I'm trying to do is just get to the point where we have nudged those T-pins up to where they need to be until we get the open. And it is just a little bit of a frustration, just going along one pin at a time, just nudging. Oh, and we got it. we got it. Take this off and you can see the inside. So you sort of pick the pins, they rest onto the T-pins, and then it's just going back and forth in the lock until you finally get that to open. And there we have it. Very cool indeed. What a beast of a lock. Absolutely love this. Definitely Master Lock's, I think, best lock they've probably ever made. Not saying they don't make some pretty decent locks. Their Pro Series, the 911, 931, they're pretty good. You know, they don't do some terrible locks, and of course I think the Master Lock company owns American Lock, and American Lock do some great locks. But yeah, you can see down inside there some really cool pins, and a challenging pick. Yeah, definitely. So thank you again to Jason for sending me this cutaway. Definitely helped me to understand and learn about this lock and know what it does, what it doesn't do, what the pins are inside, traps that might befall me, and all the rest of it. So yeah, super cool lock. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much to Jason for sending this my way. Absolutely love it. And yeah, all I can say is, if you like this video, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do so for more content like this. If you have a comment about this lock, do leave them below. I do read them all, reply to as many as I can. And of course, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.